Hi guys, how are you?
Hey, Rachel. Good to see you.
So to start, I asked the other room this, and Zach gave everyone a bunch of shit first before answering it. But we'll start with Aisha and then just go
Facts.
go in a
Wait,
circle
Zach gave someone shit? What?
Wait, what?
on the
What?
whole interview with him. But a lot of people see Criminal Minds as a whole as a comfort show, which I think it's just because it's people trying to be good at their jobs, which is why I love like Zodiac because they don't solve it, but they're good at their jobs. For you guys, what is that comfort show that when you're like, I need to kind of just be in a world I know and love, is the one that you turn towards?
Hmm. Wow.
Seinfeld.
I gotta tell you, I don't even know Aisha. I don't even. Well, no, we've discussed, but Archer is one of those for me. I love Archer.
You. That's
Yeah.
so nice.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
You. This is very strange. I feel like when I started directing, I stopped doing comfort viewing because I was like, I've got to see every movie. I've got to watch every movie in the world. So I know about movies. So like I'm always the one who's like, okay, I've got to watch whatever's new and like see that stuff. But I watch like a movie a day. So the movies that actually I watch over and over again, like I've probably seen every movie in the Bourne quadrilogy like 20 times.
Yeah.
I'll put the Bourne the Bourne like
That's
I
cool.
on and watch it like over and over again, which is very nerdy. But yeah.
But that makes more sense than all of us being like, let's watch an entire season of television as my comfort, because that's what I think a lot of us do. And it's like,
Commitment.
oh
Like my
my
mom just started watching Suits. I'm like, that's too much TV, mom. I can't commit to that much television. I don't have that much time. I got 2 hours. I don't got 22 hours.
but also like for all of you guys, which we'll just do round robin because it's easier. But I love the fact that this is very Hannibal Lecter coded this season because it is, they're you guys are all Clarice though, because it is a bunch of people who are like begging the serial killer to give them advice. And what is it like for you guys as actors to be in that Clarice role where you guys all get to play with the idea of, well, we don't know if what we're getting is information we can trust, but we have to go with it.
AJ is pure Clarice this season. I think.
Season two. Yeah, season two. It's definitely the Hannibal Lecter, Clarice moment, where the two of them kind of go head to head. Yeah. It was,
Like Clarice was kind of an acolyte. You're toe to toe. Like you don't. She's
I'm not backing down.
AJ's a badass. Yeah.
Well, and also too, Voight is he's a smart ass. He just is. He loves to get under people's skin. And I think he loves to push those buttons, but JJ is all for it. And she'll try to push your buttons too. So I do love that dynamic of JJ can be a smart ass with the best of them too. So I think it's a really interesting chemistry dynamic there between the two of them. And we do get to see that in the second episode this season. Yeah.
Yeah, I think having all of the characters too, as off balance as possible makes for really good TV. And we've been saying this all day that this is the best season, and
Mhm.
it's really exciting to see each of these characters have their vulnerabilities exploited to a certain extent, and have to kind of navigate their way through that with their buddies. So, yeah, it's a good season of TV.
Good TV.
It's great TV. It's great TV. The one thing that I think is very true about the people that do this work in real life and these characters is that we literally, to understand how serial killers work, we have to spend time with serial killers. We have to pick them apart. And Tara's job before she came to the BAU was that she was a forensic psychiatrist. She spent her time interviewing sociopaths to understand how their minds worked, and that information is critical. It's crucial to doing the work that they do. It's crucial to profiling. So this relationship between the profiler and the serial killer, it's a symbiosis, and we're really seeing that writ large in this season. That one can't operate properly without the other. And if we're going to stop a killer, we need to understand how killer's mind works. So it's a little different than the Clarice Lecter relationship in that she's very much like a newbie and an acolyte and very intimidated by him. We know what we're up against. We're just pissed off that we still have to talk to them.
We're all just pissed off. We gotta work with this guy. Seriously?
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
absolutely.
And I will say, because I mean, I'm asking a group of actors, so it's the same reason that I like it, but whatever. I think it's very fascinating how we as a society, especially like those of us, like I was a theater major, but those of us who get into acting kind of are fascinated with serial killer stories, whether it be real or fictional. Like I was obsessed with Mindhunter, and it's like all of those things feed into our kind of like breakdown of how humans function. What do you think it is about these stories and these kind of things that really draw audiences in to try and understand what is going on with these criminals?
I mean, I think it's human nature to want to understand the ununderstandable. Do you know what I mean? I think we're fascinated with horror stories. We're fascinated with these true crime stories because we want to understand how and why these things happen. I think, we have an inherent and innate fear, just as like, evolved primates of the unknown and of the potential of the potential for another animal, another human to malfunction. We want to understand it. And maybe it's a desire to prevent it or avoid it, but it's a natural inclination of the human mind to want to understand when the human mind breaks down. And I think we're fascinated and revulsed by it. But I always say the reason people love this show so much, because it can be such a dark show, is that there's also a comfort in knowing that there's a team of relentless highly intelligent, high performing people working very hard at the fringes of society to protect the rest of us from the worst of us. And it's a comforting feeling. It's a reassuring feeling. And these people really do exist. I mean, we're just, we're ciphers. We're kind of, totems for people who actually do this work, but there are real people doing this profiling work every day. We try to honor them and represent them as best we can. And I think that fascination is both I want to understand it. Am I like that? Will I ever encounter that? What can I do to avoid that? I mean, that's the human mind, I think, at work.
Yeah, I think that the age old story of good versus evil and the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object and this group of people after this just these bad guys who kind of keep regenerating and the struggle of that. I think that, yeah, I mean, Criminal Minds is exceptional in that way.
And the serial killer is a very specific kind of human malfunction, right? I think it's easier to understand why someone robs a bank or, holds up a store, but the specific malfunction of the human mind that results in a sociopath, that results in a serial killer is mysterious and frightening to people. How can the human mind go so incredibly wrong? And that's why Zach's character this year, Voight, in this last 2 seasons has been so transfixing, because this is a guy who's really done horrible things, but is also incredibly smart and charismatic and strangely elegant, very good at, evading capture.
What I love that our show does well, and what I am personally fascinated with, is the nature versus nurture. That debate is as old as time, and I think we as humans want to believe that we can nurture these things out of people, and unfortunately maybe that's not the case. And when we can't do that, we still want to try to understand it, what's going on in that specific mind, that brain, what has malfunctioned. And it's something that our show does really well at. I mean, you find yourself feeling bad for these people. It's like did they come in this way, or were they nurtured this way? And it's heartbreaking. And we as humans who are innately good, it's hard and we feel bad. I feel bad to say this, but I feel bad for Voight.
Well, he's a result of his, right? He's a product of his environment. And that's the question. Are we innately good or are we innately bad? I think every person asks that question every day. And I think this show is trying to explore that question.
Shines a light on that big time.
Yeah. And I can't wait to hear more people talk about this season and get really into it. But thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it. And yeah.
Rachel, your nails are amazing. Yeah. Happy spring.
Spring has sprung.